and in this tutorial I'm going to show you, we're going to do a quick review of the Z image turbo, the quantized Q3 underscore K GGUF 6B model using stable-diffusion.cpp. Okay, before we begin, again, I'd like to implore you to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because what happens is the more people subscribe, the more the content gets pushed out to more viewers, and those viewers can join the community, share information, they have tips and tricks, or if they request something, I can do a research, and then I'll obviously share with all of you. I share everything. I don't keep any secrets here. All right. Well, I don't hold information so I can sell later. I just share everything because I want to improve, and I want people to improve in general. All right, let's go to the intro. And the intro is fine. It's AMD GPU stable diffusion. That's correct. Now, let's actually get started. So, by the way, I'm live streaming right now on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey, so you can join the live chats there. And simply just obviously you can post your chat requests there, and I'll be able to take a look at them. YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. Okay, so I just need to grab this link. Just give me a second and make a copy of this. Make sure I have it. Yes, there we go. Okay. So I'm sure you guys have been seeing this model. People are talking about this model. It's called the Z Image Turbo. It's very fast. It produces really good quality for the speed. So that's why people like it. Now I've actually already broken it. So I believe very recently, about 3 or 4 days ago, at the time of this recording, Alibaba, at least the team, I think, I forget the name, we'll check it out in a second. The team that releases it, they also released the base version and the edit version. So those are pretty good. What that means is that some of the things that I said I've been having issues with, those will eventually be resolved in that people will come up with things like proper control nets, and maybe IP adapters for them. So I'll explain all that when you do this tutorial. Now, some of you might be saying, "Hey, wait a minute, Edward. Why are you mentioning the Q3K model? You told us to stay away from, especially the Q3. You should start with Q4." That is true. I did say that, but I've been getting some very good results with the Q3 model, so that's why I stayed with it as well, just to show you. Obviously, that's going to also be faster. So remember, even if your GPU doesn't support the, like for example, I don't think there's any GPUs, at least consumer good ones, that support like anything below Q8. But the thing is, they're so fast that they're actually much faster than even say Q8. For example, my GPU, it supports FP, that's floating point 64, floating point 32, floating point obviously 16, and Q8. That's all it supports. Now, newer GPUs, especially consumer ones, they do support floating point 8. So I don't really use floating point 8 because actually it's going to be much slower than floating point 60. And I have 32 gigs of VRAM, so I'm okay using a bigger model. Or like I said, I would rather use a Q8 or a quantized one if the quality is fine. So as you can see here in the thumbnail image, you see, another good thing is text. It's actually very good for text. It's the first model that I've done text with, and the text is really, really good. I'll show you how to do this as well. And remember, this is a quantized 3. That is really, really good. It's very accurate, and you see, it's actually very legible, and it's exactly right type. I didn't have to do multiple things. You'll see it worked extremely well. We'll see that as well. So I'm going to use stable diffusion.cpp for this tutorial, which is a lightweight C++ implementation of stable diffusion designed for efficiency and portability. It supports CPU and GPU acceleration, works well with modern Linux and AMD GPUs. So you can obviously do, if you have NVIDIA, obviously a Golden, supports ROCm, It supports Vulkan. It supports I think it's called. I don't know what Intel calls theirs. It's calls that. I'll show you all that when we go to the website. Also go check out the Z Image Turbo. I said I'm using the quantized image one here in the GGUF format. Quantization basically reduces memory usage and improves inference speed while maintaining good visual quality. This makes it suitable for local inference on GPUs such as AMD Instinct MI60, and obviously if you have less VRAM, for example, if you have like less than 8 gigs of VRAM, this will be perfect for you. Most mid-range GPUs will be perfectly fine. So this is my system. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. So I told you to stop. I did promise it was cooled down. So my particular, obviously you're going to need a GPU. You don't need a GPU, it's going to be slower for your CPU, but I'm saying you can use Vulkan and it'll be much faster. You can use OpenBlast as well, it'll be faster, especially we're just generating an image, so it won't take too long, and it's fast, as I said. So you'll be, I don't know how long it'll take, but what I'm saying, you get good quality quickly. So my system, I have my GPU is the AMD Instinct MI60. It has 32 gigs of HBM2 memory. I have a Ryzen 5 5600 GT. So the G part is integrated graphics. So that integrated graphics that would also work for this, but I use that for my displays because this GPU, it's a server grade GPU, so it doesn't have display ports. So it says 8 core. You don't need 8 core. You can get away with probably even 4 cores would be fine for 8. I don't know. Like I said, sometimes I copy stuff from other things and I forget to change some things, but you don't need that. I have 32 gigs of RAM. You don't need that much, especially if you know what? I think I copied this from probably Comfy UI or something, and that's probably where I copied this stuff from, some Comfy UI one. Yeah, when I first came across this, it was obviously in Comfy UI. But I'm saying is that I decided to break it apart because I haven't done anything in stable-diffusion in a while, so I wanted to do that in today's tutorial. So the system, you don't need 32 gigs because I have 32 gigs of RAM, but because I have that integrated graphics, 4 gigs of that is reserved. So I really have, you might think, oh, you have 28. I don't have 28 because what happens is another 4 gigs is used for something called ZRAM. That's it's like what do you call it? It's like a RAM, not a RAM disk. You know, talking about when you run out of memory. What do you call that? Swap drive, like a swap, yeah, so a swap RAM, or swap file or something like that as well. It basically what ZRAM is it takes the memory, say 4 gigs, and then it will compress things that go into it, so it will basically make it feel like it's 8 gigs. So that's one way if you have, especially have low RAM when you're running, especially AI stuff, you're going to need a lot of RAM for that. So I would recommend at least having 32 gigs. You can get away with less. I had 16 gigs on my old workstation. I was able to generate stuff. What I'm saying is that you know what I mean. So and obviously, if you're running things, for example, right now I'm running OBS. I have some stuff open, so obviously you need some system RAM for that. So I would recommend at least 32 gigs. This part is correct. If I'm saying you can get away with this, especially if you're using a quantized model like I am here. For example, this is 6 gigs. So so meaning all that's going to be loaded up into your VRAM. So that's what I'm trying to say is that, and then other things are going to be happening too, because there's like I'll explain how the other. It's not just that. There's usually some other stuff like the text encoders. So what I'm saying is that even if you put that onto the CPU, the point is that you do need some RAM. One thing I've noticed about AI, people talk about the GPU, which is correct. That's for speed, but you also need a lot of RAM. So. Yeah, so this is pretty much accurate. At least 32, 60. The more the better. You will never have enough RAM when it comes to AI. I'm talking about RAM, not even VRAM. And the storage needs 20 gigs. Yeah, that's probably okay, especially if you're running a model like this. Although this is probably after you've downloaded the models. I think this is pretty small as well. We'll talk about disk space. Surprisingly, in another tutorial, I found a whole bunch of disk space, and you won't believe the application that was using up a lot of disk, using up a lot of my disk space. You guys will be shocked when you find out what application was actually using up a lot of disk space. It wasn't AI, by the way. This one was using up way more space than the AI, believe it or not. Just one application was using all of that. Now, it's not what you guys think. You'll be surprised. Okay, so the Linux operating system, that's actually, this is not true as well. In fact, it works pretty well with Windows. I believe, we'll check the website. I believe it should work fine as well with Mac OS. Obviously, Linux is fine. It's for the tool chains. ROCm if you have an AMD. Obviously, if you have NVIDIA or something else, make sure you have the latest drivers for that. I have both of this. I have GCC Clang, and previously I also had the HPCC. That's the one that AMD. It's a kind of a Clang, fine-tuned for the ROCm to compile that. CMake and Git. Git is obviously just to download. Obviously, you don't need this unless you want to go get it manually, but having Git makes it easy, especially for updates and things like that. All right. So as you can see here, I am assuming you have ROCm installed. So if you type ROCm, it will show you all your devices. Then you use Git to clone the repository. Now, if you guys remember, I always tell you to always use depth 1, so you don't get the entire history. You just want to get the latest history and right at the top there, and just go from there. You don't want to get all the stuff from the entire history, because unless you're a developer and you want to help out, but you don't need to do that. And then just cd into it, and then you just follow the instruction. I'll show those instructions in a second. And then you can run some commands, and I have some sample commands here. This is the exact command that was used to generate the thumbnail. Now, for the license and distribution, so obviously they are open source. So in this tutorial, because we're focusing on the Z image turbo, it's listed under the Apache 2 license. That means that commercial use is permitted, modification, redistribution are allowed, attribution and inclusion of the license notice are the only things that you need to do, and the software is provided without warranty. So what that means is this model has no restrictions. So if you remember, when I told you guys, the reason I stay away from proprietary stuff is because they always put restrictions on its use. They would make you sign or agree to an EULA and all that stuff. So I don't like that. That's why I stay with open source. So what I'm getting at is, okay, sometimes you have no choice. That might be the only rodeo in town, if you know what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is that if you do have a choice, I stay away from that. So what this means is that if you want to make stuff, for example, maybe not safe for work, for me, I don't do that. But if you want to do that, the point I'm trying to say is that you can do whatever you want. You can use it any way you want. Okay, there's no restrictions. Some of those models, even if they list the code and everything, they'll tell you can't do this, you can't do this. Then that's not open source once you put those restrictions. So because stable-diffusion is inspired by ComfyUI, you get into the ComfyUI, the folder, for example, the checkpoints, LoRa's, VAE, and ControlNet, and obviously diffusion models and all that stuff as well. So just put them in the proper place, and then you can run it as well. Also, yes, so I did tell you my system here. The other thing I didn't tell you was I also am running Fedora Linux, Workstation 42. That means I have GNOME 49, and I'm running Wayland as well. Everything is up to date. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about actually, I probably should talk about this. Okay, let's talk about this. So as you can see, what I did was I found this was actually very, very low scale image of the current mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow, and I just ran some very basic thing, and you can see what it did here. So it actually de-aged her. So if you remember, it's the same command I ran last time when we ran the Stable Diffusion 1.5, right? That model, and you can see the quality is just over the place. For example, this one is very blurry because it was I think this one was 180. I got it from, you see, I do provide attribution. I got this from Wikipedia. It was, I think, 160 by 180, so it's very, very low scale. So what I did is I just cropped it into a square, and then I used GIMP to scale it up to 512 by 512 because I didn't want any issues there. And you can see immediately it like, I didn't expect it to DH her, just expected her to, for example, she's very minor smile, so the prompt was to smile, and it did. But I'm saying is that this is the problem. I said I broke the now if you think, if I use the I tried using Q8 version, and I tried the one FP16, all of them basically the result was exactly the same. And it was better obviously, but I'm saying it was more what do you call it, there were far less artifacts, but I'm saying this one already came with artifacts. They all did a pretty good job, but it was very, very minor. It's insignificant. The problem I had is, I'm sure you guys can already see, even right here, is I told it to give the background should be white. You see, it ignored my prompt, and basically still, because this is clearly the Canadian flag, so it still kept, but even messed up that as well. And the background is clearly not white. So you see it, that's one of the problems with the Z model. I even tried Comfy UI, I tried to, what do you call it? I tried to, I put a control net, I tried to use the IP adapter. It always ignored my request. Now you might think that's because I use a negative prompt, that's true. But I got smart later on, it still ignored my, prompt. And the other thing is, even if you tell it to leave the person the way the person, for example, obviously she's an elderly lady, it ignores it. I think because the way it was trained to always like DH and whatever. So one thing I noticed, so speaking of this, I went down a rabbit hole where I found out that a lot of these models, when they're trained, they're really trained by people who obviously like attractive women, right? So you see, basically, it's like as if I said, make her attractive or something like that. So that's one thing I've noticed what these models do. And then because some of the stuff I want to do is not for human, it's kind of like claymation, animation style, and not anime. But so the thing I noticed is, if my prompt is just a little bit off, it will turn the my request into a human, which is not what I want. And another reason I don't want to use humans is because I found out actually, I think today, is that a lot of these models, they were trained on real people, meaning that they might have actually scraped some sites where you have models, like real life models. So the problem is, when you see an attractive female, most likely that when an AI generates an attractive human female, most likely that person is real. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that that's another reason I don't want to do that, because I'm not going for the realistic stuff. I said for me, I just want to tell a story, so it doesn't have to be real. So what I'm trying to say, even something like this, I would have been happy if it generated like a cartoonish version of her. You know what I mean? So it's not because I'm scared someone's going to sue me. I'm just saying that for I'm more interested in telling a story, not in how attractive the female character is, right? So that's one of those things I said I found out, and I was a little bit I'm not too disappointed, but there are some use cases, I guess, when you need an attractive female. So here's one that surprised me. So I took a photo. I couldn't find the GNOME desktop. I couldn't find a modern screenshot, and I said I didn't want to steal people's content. So I generated one. Unfortunately, this was from my 4K monitor, so I somehow managed to grab something that... so this is the GNOME desktop. That's what it looks like. And obviously I scaled it down. So I thought this would be a pretty easy one, because I'm giving it an initial image. And then you see it messed it up. It actually put the word text, it put the desktop, whatever, messed up text, which really surprised me. And then I'm like, it would have been better off if we just left this the way it is, but it tried to clean it up again. So its default is to make things more pretty, which is kind of weird. And then this one, obviously these are images. This one, for example, I generated this with the V5 stable diffusion. An astronaut riding a horse. And the funny thing is, the prompt here was in a desert, So the funny thing is, it drew the desert accurately, which surprised me. I'm thinking, wait a minute. This one, I don't know if it's because there's a little bit of a beach here or something here. That's why it was able to use that to generate the desert. So maybe that's the trick to get the Z image turbo to do what I want. Because I'm thinking, wait a minute. In this one here, there's clearly white on the flag. How come it didn't make the background white then? So I'm saying it's, and then this time it took away the horse and it took away the astronaut as well. So I'm thinking, okay, that's weird. So this one, I don't know how it messed this one up. So this one here, as you can see, there are chickens in a what do you call it? A chicken run. Okay, so it was supposed to take this and make it like winter, like on ice or ice. Basically, it could have maybe chickens freezing, or there'll be ice outside or something like that. That's what it's supposed to do. For example, you notice Stable Diffusion version 1.5, although the code isn't very, very good compared to Z image, it did that perfectly. You see what Z image did here? I'm guessing this is ice here, but then I don't know if all the chickens are frozen to death. So that's kind of weird. I think that's I think maybe that's one of the reasons that some of the models, they do restrict them and put non-safe for work stuff there. Because this is weird. And then think, what is a car doing there? Yeah, so I don't know why I did that. I'll show you guys the prompt. Oh, you can look at the screenshot here. The prompt is, that was a weird one. And then this one here was supposed to be, this is a man wearing a watch. Obviously didn't come out too well in Stable-Diffusion version 1.5. So I took this image because it's already 512 by 512, and I did the same thing, and I said it's supposed to be cloudy. Say like outside, you're supposed to see some of the cloud or fog or something like that. Again, Stable-Diffusion got it correctly, but this time the image just drew the clouds perfectly, but there's no man wearing watch or anything like that. So that's another weird one as well. And then this one for the spider, the spider web. So clearly that's a spider web. So I asked it because, so this one doesn't look realistic, because usually when there's a spider web, it's kind of like a dusty, you know what I mean? It's like a dusty type thing. So I asked for a dusty environment. It did create the dusty environment, but then it took away it did not have it left the spider webs not there, and it added this thing here. I'm thinking, okay, so there's basically it looks like it's as if I gave it leeway to do whatever it wanted. And so the weird thing is, if you look at all of them, except, so here we go. So I'll tell you the flaws. And so here, I clearly said smiling. So it got the smile part right. I don't know why it DH'd her. And the background is wrong, because I said the white background. This is not a white background. Okay. Here, it got the desert correct, but then it took away the astronaut and the horse. Right, and then here it's the chickens are gone, unless it's like chickens frozen, and then it got the ice part correct, but yeah, I don't know, it added a car. That was a weird one. And this one, a man wearing a watch, it's supposed to be cloudy, like a cloudy environment, meaning that fog or something like that. So it got the clouds correctly. But okay, here it's hard to tell a man wearing a watch, but you can still tell. There's a suit and whatever, cuffs. Here they're all gone, and then here, the dust is here. But why did you add this? I didn't ask for that. And then the spider is gone. The spider web is gone. Super weird. Okay. Anyway, so this is the live stream, as you can see. Also. Okay, and then I explained the results here. I've already explained them as well. So I'm just going to go down here and stop right there. So now what I'm going to do is, let's actually do it here. So I'll go to LeadJet. I don't know if it's here. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, LeadJet. So this is the LeadJet on, what do you call it, GitHub. So this is the model. I just followed this instructions. You see the it's a Q4. Oh, Q4. No, that's another one we want. We want. Okay, let's just go to the main side. That's fine. So this is LeadJet /stable-diffusion.cpp. I've done a tutorial on this before, so I'm not going to spend too much time. and you see there's a version I released an hour ago. So this, we're gonna show you how to do an update. So that's perfect. We'll actually let's see. No, that's fine. Let's just quick review of this. Stable-diffusion.cpp. There's you see the important news. December 1st, it started supporting Z image. But I might actually I might actually drop down to Q image edit for what I want. The videos, I'm not too happy with the videos both in ComfyUI and that, so I think I might delete these models and just stick to images for now, because I said I need a scene, right? And the problem with the video is if I give it a starting initial image and then it messes up, and I don't want to stick around waiting for 6 to 10 minutes. At least with images, after the third or second or third image mess up, I can then simply go to the fourth image and regenerate it. You see, that's my scene for now. Obviously, in the future, I might have a better workflow. That's it. So as you can see, this is supported image models. Basically, it's a plain C++, C++ implementation of the GGML, working the same way as llama.cpp. As you guys know, I love llama.cpp. So I'm pretty excited for this. You can see all the models here. You can see what it supports. The image edit models, Flux. Okay, I'll try an Quen image edit. So I'm going to try this off screen. I don't know if I have time for tonight to show you this. This might be next week instead. Send the video models, photo maker. So I don't need photo maker for now because I said I'm more interested in a scene, not in I said so what I'm interested in is, for example, you see what I'm wearing right now. If I put my hands up or whatever, I want to stay. I want the what I'm wearing to stay the same. Okay, and they supported backend CPU, of course, CUDA, NVIDIA, Vulkan, which is cross-platform Metal, or OpenCL, and SYCL, and there's others. I believe SYCL is for. Okay, we'll take a look at that in a second. And then this the weight formats: PyTorch, Checkpoint, Safe Sensors, and GGUF. And obviously platforms Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, and Android Android is the one for the OpenCL, I believe. Yeah, OpenCL. And the flash attention for memory, negative prompt, stable. There's also stable to have web UI, style tokenizer, not all features, only token waiting for now. VAE tiling, it doesn't have as many sampling methods as, for example, ComfyUI. These are the ones it has right now. And cross-platform reproducibility using the room CUDA. So even if it says CUDA, if you have a ROCm, it can work as well. And yeah, so there we go in the quick start, and you can just follow the instructions here. So, and there's the performance and the guides here. So the guides, we're gonna go to Z image here, and yeah, open up there. Yeah, I believe I did. And you obviously can run in Docker and all this stuff. So it explains all this. I've already explained this myself. And there we go. So really, really awesome project. So I want to the build guide. So let's go to the build guide. There's also pre-built binaries if you go there. So here's how to build it from scratch. And if you want to update, so this is what I run when I do an update. See if you build for CPU only, Open Blast. This works if you, especially if you're doing CPU, make sure you use Open Blast. That will speed up things tremendously. If you have CUDA, which I don't right now, and then hit plus, this is for ROCm AMD, Musa for more threads, GPU, Metal, obviously Mac OS, Vulkan, which is cross-platform, and OpenCL if you have an Adreno GPU, that's for Android, and then CYCL, that's for Intel GPU. There we go. Yeah, I was right about the Intel GPU. Okay, then what else do we have here? How it explains how to use weights. So for the Z image turbo, you see it has the page on Hugging Face. You see here it's the to get the diffusion files. I'll go here in a second, and then you see here Legit himself or herself has one for the GGUF version. So that's one I got, and this for the VAE the same as ComfyUI. You can get it there, and then for the Quen 3B Quen 3 hyphen Quen 3 4B, for the B part stands for parameters, and then you can see an example here, and I was able to generate this as well, and I'll show you. So these are the different quantization types, so you can take a look at this. So what I'm saying is that obviously when you start with BF16, 32 is a full. So then you have BF16, that's floating point 16, and then Q8. So I said these two here both supported on my GPU. Supported on my GPU. The Q6, Q5, Q4, Q3, and Q2 are not supported on my GPU. So if you take a look at all this, clearly this will give you the best quality. There's just a few artifacts missing or something, so give you the best quality, but it's going to be the slowest, even on my GPU. On my particular GPU, I found Q8 to be the fastest. It's faster than, obviously, BF16. So when it says 8 without the F, meaning there's not a floating point. So that's what here it is. So I found this to be the fastest. You guys remember I did a whole tutorial where I tested I tested I think up to Q2 just for giggles, and I found Q8 to be the fastest. You know what I found the second fastest? The second fastest is always Q4. I don't know if it's Q4M or this was no, I think I already did K because I didn't have time. So I did this. This happened to be the second fastest, and the third fastest was the the floating point 16. So what I do is when I can, if the model exists, I do use Q8. That's the fastest for me, and it's going to be way more accurate than that. So if you can see for the Z model, you can see that for the text, it got the text really well. As you can see, very accurate for even for Q3. That's why we use Q3. Q2, it started. Did I get it right? And broken transistor. So it also got the text. So even at Q2, it got the text right. But let's actually see what the difference is with the Q2. Yeah. So with the Q2, there's a few problems. I'm sure you can see, for example, the buildings, the lights here, they're kind of a little bit, it kind of looks like it's a 1970s or early 80s, like a game or something, meaning that you see they're kind of like blobs, right? You can't really make them out. Even the person here just looks like a painting. It looks like a Andy Warhol type painting. You see that? Now, if this is the Q2, right? So if we go back and take a look at, for example, the Q3, you're going to see a big difference. You see the Q3 already, it's much better. You can make out this is a car. It's not a blob, right? So the Q3 is pretty good. And you can clearly see this is a road, and you can tell that, you can now tell the shape that it doesn't look like it's painted. This looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take the BF16 next, just to show you the difference. Obviously you can do side by side, so let's go take this one here. So you can see, there we go. I mean, it's better than the Q3, but the difference is so subtle that it will fool you if you don't actually know what it is. For example, you can still see that obviously you can make out more cars here, but the gist is obviously the person and the text, and you see that came out extremely well. So that's why it's stuck. In case you're wondering why I use the Q3 for this tutorial, that's why. It's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. I mean, there's some detail missing, but it's very accurate, and I'm pretty happy with it. So that's why I used it. Now we go to the Hugging Face for, who's this one here? Turbo, yeah, so Turbo Main. This is where if you want to get the BF16 version, this is where the diffusion. So you go to diffusion models, and you can get the BF16. I believe I have this because I was getting frustrated in ComfyUI. I was thinking maybe because I'm using I'm using a quantized model, so I got this one. It still gave me the same thing. It's because it's a turbo. So as I said, very recently they released the base model, and so it will get better eventually. And of course, this is GGUF by LeadJet here. They have Q2 up to Q8. So I also downloaded the Q8. I don't know if I got it from here or somewhere else. I got this. I couldn't get the Q3K to work in ComfyUI. I don't know, maybe there's some optimization that LeadJet did that only worked for stable-diffusion, didn't work for me. But the Q8 one, I had no problem with it. That worked no problem at all. I think I also got a Q4. The Q4 worked in ComfyUI, and so did the Q8, of course. But as you can see, the file size for the Q8 is 6.58, and for the Q4 is 3.86, and the 3K is 3.14. So obviously, if you, as I said, if you have less VRAM, you want obviously the one where without compromising your quality. So that works perfectly fine. All right. Now with that said, let's go back and actually get started here. So as you can see here, I have this AI folder. I have this partition is all for AI stuff. You see, I even have my swap file here, and what do you call it here? And this is the cooler control because the AMD Instinct MI60 did not come with a cooling system, so I have to use the a fan shroud with a 40 millimeter fan. So that's why that is. I could create a systemd file here and a case fan, a script to run automatically, but because when I run AI stuff, it goes up so quickly, I prefer to manually control it instead, just to make sure I don't damage the GPU or burn down the house. I live in a cabin, so it's wood, so that easily everything could burn out. Anyway, so that's where it is, and this is the config.ui. So we're not going to use the config.ui for this particular tutorial, but this is where the models are. So I already downloaded. I'll show you the models I used to download. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up the cooler control. Okay, so this one I don't need to zoom in so much. I can actually zoom out. Yeah, so all I need to do is go to this link, which I'm going to do right now. So I just type 1 there, and it's the cooler control. So this is the cooler control, and this is the CPU. You can see, as I said, it's Ryzen 5 5600 GT. This is the dedicated GPU. This is the integrated GPU. So I'm just going to collapse that because we don't need it. Same with the Wi-Fi card. The Wi-Fi card doesn't even come with a fan. And the system fan 2 is the one that I connected to the dedicated GPU. So I just monitor the temperatures there. I usually put it at I'm gonna put 40 today because we're not generating for very long. It's pretty fast. So then all I do is hit the supply setting. So this is up and running. So next thing is we need to go into stable-diffusion. You see this folder here, and then so this is where we're gonna go to. I think I'm ready there right now. Yes, I am. And then we're gonna do an update, and then we're gonna compile, and then we'll go into the build folder. So let me do that right now. So because I've already downloaded it, as you can see. So in this particular tutorial, we're doing an update. So remember when I checked the website, there was an update about an hour ago from the time of this recording. So what you do is just type git pull, and you can see, let me zoom out just a little bit. So you can see I pulled, there's a bunch of stuff that just came in. So you can see the version number. So basically I had 423. So it pulled 424, 425, 426, and 427. So I was a little bit behind in my things. Funny thing is, I think I just worked on this like, is it yesterday or 2 days ago? So there's been a bunch of updates as well. So we're up to the latest version, which is 427. This one here, I believe. Yes, 427. So then we also, because remember, it's recursive. It also needs to put in the GGML. So the GGML is a sub module. So what you do is, I just combine them because there you have to do it in two steps. I just combine them. I just put git submodel update space --int space --recursive. Because even though it's a submodel, it might have its own submodels as well. So we're gonna pull those as well. So last time I did this, there was actually updates for the first time for GGML, and I noticed in the code, I think the one I had or the one before, it said that, make sure to update GGML as well. So I put in all the updates as well for that one. So obviously there's no update. The update will obviously be tied to the main stable-diffusion.cpp as well. So there we go. Then all you need to do is cd to the build folder. And then in the build folder, make sure you have ROCm, of course. I do, so I just type ROCm info, and you see the ROCm. Actually, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more so you can see. So it picks up both of my GPUs. So this one here, GFX 906, that's the dedicated one, and then this one, which will say 90C or something like that, that's the CPU, meaning that. So this is the that one is a dedicated one. If you see something, another one here to tell us, where are you? There's one that says 90 something C. That's for the this, I believe this one here. Oh, did they change the name? They finally changed the name and stop calling it. It should be here too. Yeah, it also has it. So I don't know where it is. This is agent 3. What is agent 2? Where could I find it? Just give me a second here. Oh, okay, maybe it's only finding one now. Okay, I'm okay with that because it doesn't matter. Agent 1. So agent 1 is the. Okay, I guess that's the name they're using now. Okay, so I must have done an update somewhere where, 906. Okay, so it used to be called 90C, so that's fine. All right, so that's it. As you can see, ROCm, and then you just follow the commands. So paste this in here. You see, I do have ROCm installed. I'm gonna zoom out just zoom in a little bit so you can see I do have ROCm installed. And if you want to know the name of my GPU, I showed it to you there, but there we go. You see, it's GFX 906. Then you just run the CMake. I already have all the stuff installed, obviously. So I'm using Ninja as well. So you see all that stuff. You see, just quickly here, HIP plus. That you need this to speed up your. That's basically what ROCm is. And you see, it's going to build it for. It's also detected the CPU backend variant, so it's gonna. I think it's adding that as well. So meaning that if something goes wrong with the GPU, it can fall back to the CPU. Obviously, the CPU is much slower. And you see HIP and HIP plus found, including HIP backend. Fantastic. GGML, that's important. And yeah, so that's it. It found it. Now we can actually build it. It will take just a few moments. So then we just build. Now, one thing I noticed about Clang is that it does have a bunch of warnings, but hopefully those things will be fixed eventually. If I use GCC, it's much. There's like maybe one warning, right? So, but I do use Clang because I know that's what AMD uses to compile they compile the ROCm library. So that's perfectly fine. That's what I'm going to use. In fact, the HIP CCC is based on Clang, so that's why I have Clang here. And so yeah, we just wait. It won't take too long. I think it takes less than a minute, if I remember correctly. It might take maybe just over a minute, but it will be done. So while that's running, I'll show you. Actually, I'll wait for it to finish because I want to use the new version, not the old one. So if something goes wrong, like maybe there's a bug, I'll check the website. Maybe there's an update. Hopefully there isn't. Or I'm saying I'm hoping there's no bug. But I already showed you the results, and I can show those to you again. So is it done? It's finished. Okay, so it finished. There was 20 warnings. That's actually one of the least number of warnings. Usually there's way more than that. So that's actually good. So it is improving. That's fantastic. So it finished. And it says that I can link it to bin/sd-server. I'm guessing, I guess that's what we're supposed to be using going forward, but I just use bin/sd. I think maybe there's a symlink to that one, and that's where I'll be. So let's go to our build folder. So you can see build folder, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I did earlier. And yeah, so you can see them here. This is the one I'm trying to generate a story. And I think I already showed you guys that, so I'm not going to show you that again. But as you can see, this is the Mayor of Toronto. I already have those photos. I've already shown that to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate a few images. The first image I'm going to generate is the same one. So I'll slap the command here and I'll show that to you. Okay, so I use Area 2C to download because it's a parallel downloader. That's the one I used. So I'm gonna generate this broken transistor image. I believe it's called Z image. Let me make sure it should be here. Yeah, so this image, I'm gonna regenerate it. So this is the one generated using the, so I'm gonna regenerate this image just to show you how the quality of it. So let me clean this up a little bit, sorry, and I'll paste this, and I'm going to go zoom in. Okay, there we go. So I'll show you what's going on here. So bin slash s. Oh, before I do this, let me actually clear this. So if you want to know, you just type bin slash sd and hyphen help, or h. Just h is enough. And you can see here, it shows you the options you can use. Let me zoom out a little bit. So you can see you can use like easy cache, skip layers. There's a whole bunch of options. The sampling methods, the schedulers, VAC strength, the strength. You know, you can see all this. I'm sure you saw that for the CFG scale. Then there's an image CFG scale. So you can see photo maker if you're using that. Prompt, negative prompt, initial image, end image. Right, so you can see VAE, diffusion, diffusion, a flash attention, and so you can see all these options here. Diffusion model, of course, LLM underscore vision, clip, right? So there's a bunch of canny. Oh, that's canny. For edge detection. Interesting. Interesting. I might try this later instead of using my Comfy UI thing is kind of weird. I might actually give up on Comfy and just use this. If this works, I keep on saying it. Some people probably think I'm nuts. Yeah. So then the output, and you can see. So it's like all the options are here. So let me clear this and paste again. I'm gonna zoom in so I can explain what's going. Oops, there we go. Let's zoom in too much. Okay, that's good. Too much. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so as you can see here, it's bin slash sd, then hyphen diffusion model. This is the path to diffusion model. Remember I told you I'm using the Comfy UI folder, so it will go in there to see, and it's using the z underscore image underscore turbo hyphen q3 underscore k dot gguf. Remember this, I downloaded it from, I showed you the link earlier. It needs a VAE. This VAE is the same one that Comfy UI uses. So it's just a AE.safe tensors. And then this hyphen LLM. This stands for the text encoder. So that's, you see the text encoder. I'm using Qwen3 hyphen 4b hyphen instruct. And you see I'm using the GGUF version. It's a Q4M. So this is perfectly fine. Now, let's read the prompt. The prompt, hyphen P for the prompt, it's in double quotes. It says, a cinematic, melancholic photograph of a solitary hooded figure walking through a sprawling, rain-slicked metropolis at night. The city lights are chaotic, blur of neon, orange, and cool blue, reflecting on the wet asphalt. The scene evokes a sense of being a single component in a vast machine. Superimposed over the image is a sleek, modern, slightly glitched font. Is the philosophical quote in apostrophe or single quote to say the city, all caps, the city is a circuit board, comma, and I'm a broken transistor, period. And then end the single quote. Then it has two dashes. It says moody, comma, atmospheric, comma, profound, comma, dark, academic, and that's the end of the double quotes. And then the C hyphen CSVG on the scale, it's 1. That's because this model doesn't need a lot of stuff. You have to. So one thing I learned is that it doesn't have a negative prompt. You need to, if you have a negative stuff, you have to put it there as well. You have to explain it. So it's really like explaining to a human, which is kind of weird. And then hyphen V obviously for verbose mode. And offload to CPU if you don't have enough GPU to handle it. You can do that as well. And then diffusion file, and then the attention, and then the height 1024, the width 512, and output to zz01.png. So this is the one that was generated before, and I'm going to hit enter here and to show you how what's going to happen. Now when that runs, you see I'm going to pay attention to this temperature here. I'm going to move this out of the way. Actually, I'll put this out of the way. So I'm paying attention to this temperature here because I said it goes up. Oh, it's already at 40. So I'm just going to be ready to hit. I'm going to be ready to hit this once it goes into the GPU. You see the GPU temperature is going to go. You see how quickly the GPU temperature jumps up. It's really fast, right? So even though it's still loading the model, you see the GPU temperature just goes up and up and up. Yeah. So it by default it runs 20 steps. I found that you don't need the 20 steps. 20 steps because I said I've been fooling around. Let me zoom out a little bit so I can explain what's going on here. So let's go back right to my prompt so we can read some of the settings. This will be important if you guys are learning about this particular model. So what are we here? So this is all my I don't care about the preview, but if you wanted a preview, you could create a preview path. That's not needed. Okay, where are we here? You see the text encoder path. You can also have visions. I don't know why for. The model path, you can the noise model. Obviously, I'm not using that. VAE path, I'm using that. I'm not using any of this. There's you can put a control net as well, but there's no. I tried. I mean, I did download one, but it didn't work. So and I looked in the issues. Somebody requested it, but it as a feature request. So, and obviously here we go by default using CUDA. CUDA and ROCm are the same thing. I'm saying that the name was CUDA because I think people just assume people are able to have a NVIDIA, obviously not. So you can see all the other settings here. And these are all the defaults, but I didn't set them. And we have the high noise LoRa prompt. So here's my prompt. I'm not going to go through that again. There's no negative prompt because this turbo model, the version at least, it does not have that. See my width and height, and some of this stuff you might want to change if you wish. And then the sample parameters, scheduler. There's no scheduler. Our schedule is set to none, sample none. I don't know what that means. I didn't realize you could set it to none. Okay, that's interesting. And all the other stuff here. This is all the default settings. So you can see here GGML. What do you call this? I think it's actually finished. So the temperature is low. I'll take care of that in a second. You can see here the model again, all that stuff. It clearly using. You see, it says CUDA force no. For the MMQ and Kublas, no, but it did find my ROCm device, and that's what it's using, GFX 906, so we know it's using it. And then as you can see here, the version of Z image, and it's the Q4. So even though it's Q4 quantized, you see there's still some Q6. There's a whole bunch of Q3. Sorry, even though it's a Q3. K, it still has some Q4, Q6, and Q8. So it's not a true Q3 because you see there's some. So the reason they do this is because if they make it completely Q3, the quality would suffer. So they do leave some of the other stuff. So for me, as funny as this is fast on my machine because it has the Q4. So remember, Q4 is the second fastest. Now for me, if this was taken up to Q8, it will be even faster for my particular system. And then the condition weights, you see the Q4, there's not even a Q3 there, and then you can see the other file diffusion made model weight. You can see most of it is Q 3, so that's where it is. But it's still fast enough because it's a Q3, so that's good enough. VA. So you can see I said my GPU does support. Oh, sorry, I forgot about this. There's also floating point 32s. See, there's a lot of this. So this is supported on my my GPU just fine. Yeah, I said my GPU supports F64, F32, F16, and Q8. It doesn't support a floating point 8, so that's why I have to shy away from some of the models. So you can see the other stuff here, Quen 3, etc. So then it loaded the sensors. It uses 6 threads. I could probably increase this because I have 6 cores and 12 threads, so I can probably increase it, and that will help as well, especially if you have low VRAM. So as you can see here, obviously there's no control net. The diffusion model used about, what is that, 2 gigs? Yeah, that's 2 gigs. The text encode itself used just under 4 gigs, 3.5 gigs. And the VRAM, is that the total? Total VRAM used was 6.5 gigs there. Yeah, so you can see the VAE doesn't use much at all. So now you can see that to run this particular model, I would definitely recommend you have at least 8 gigs of VRAM. Obviously you can try the Q2, you get a slightly worse result. You can shave off, I think, probably about 1 gig, maybe a little bit more than that. And also, for example, you saw the text encode as well. You can pick a more condensed version, but the quality will suffer. And obviously you can also drop down the image size, the width and height. Okay, as you can see, all this stuff here, it does all this. So the reason you're seeing this is because that's a part of the problem with the quantized models. It tries to be smart when instead, so it might produce some weird results, but this one came out actually, it's not processing good. So does it show me how many time? It completed in 75 seconds, it said. That's actually very slow. Yeah, that is actually, yeah, to be honest, that is actually pretty slow. What I'm saying is that let's go take a look at the results. So I'm going to reopen this. Oops, I opened the wrong one, sorry. This is the wrong one. This is T. I don't know how I generated that one. That's a T. It says T there. The one I did was, let me look at my prompt again. Yeah, my prompt was 01. So this is the one here. So as you can see, I don't remember how I generated this one. So this is the one. This is T. Why am I opening up T? Sorry about that. Oh, it says T. What's wrong with me? Huh? The image 001.png. Where in the world did it generate? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so this is it. This is it here. Oh, you know what? I think I generated this one using Comfy UI. So you can see here, this is the one, yeah, this is the one PNG. You see it came out really nice, the text. So the only thing that you notice, you see even the cars are pretty much visible here. So the only thing I could notice was this text. It's supposed to be glitchy. So this one, it's not glitchy. I can zoom in. It's a little bit glitchy, but it's not as glitchy as it should be. So you have to zoom in to see that it's really glitchy. That was the thing. So the funny thing is when I ran the higher quality models, the text was glitchy. I'm thinking, what is going on? Why is it worse? Then I realized, oh, the prompt is actually asking for glitchy text. So you see the text is actually pretty clear. It's not glitchy at all. So if you open up the T1, is it T1? Yeah, you see the T1 here. If you look at this word "and," you see that's glitchy. So this is a higher. I think this one is a B. This is the floating point 16. So you can see that the text is clearly. If I zoom in, you can see that. So the text is glitchy here. That was the. That was what was requested. But you see, when I zoom in this one, you see it's not as glitchy as the higher quality model. So that's basically the only difference. It's not as glitchy as the higher quality. I'm saying that it's just nuance. It's very good quality. Okay, so I'm also going to do an example of where we I'm going to do another example for this one. I'm going to, you see I was testing a whole bunch of stuff. So I want to show you, I'll do this in a night stream, but I'll give you an example. So you see here, I used the same initial image. You see it kept on changing. You see it changes the outfit no matter what I put in there. And this one was, you see, it's very good. It's very good at some things, but I'll show you. The initial image wasn't this. See, it keeps on changing. That's the thing that I dislike about it. It doesn't. There's no way to. So one thing it does pretty well is it left the character pretty good, like the way I described it. But the problem is, like for example, this is unrealistic because. For example, this one you could say maybe the person's taking a little bit of shadow from a snowstorm, perfectly fine. But this one, nobody's gonna do this in winter, right? You're not gonna take off your headgear and stuff and just have a shovel. Forget about the shovel size, but the point is that yeah, there's a lot of snow. You're not gonna be doing something like this, even if you're crazy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you like not you know, obviously dressed more appropriately? So that's a problem with this particular model. So this was, I'll show you the starting material. Where is it? It's somewhere here. No. Oh, it's in the, I think it's the chicken one. Yeah, where's chicken? Chicken story. C. Must be up here. C for chicken. Yeah, chicken story. So this is the starting. This is the starting. You see, this is the starting or the base one. I always use. You see this one here. This one was generated by the same model. So you can see very nice. This is. Oops, I forgot. I should put it here. So you see, this model is very nice. You see that this is what the Z image turbo does. Even the Q3, it does very good. Now, what I was trying to do is I was trying to take this model and use it to generate my scene. So what I did was I took this as the initial image, and then when I clicked again to generate, you see it already changed the outfit, but it kept the face structure, everything the same. The shovel was a little bit off, but that's I don't care about that. But the problem is, I said this is unrealistic because why are you changing the outfit and stuff? You see, and then here at least the person is still dressed warmly. And then all of a sudden you see the person changes, right? So I mean the outfit changes, which makes no sense at all. So now this could be kind of okay for my story. So in case you're wondering what my story is there was a day very recently where it snowed. There was a lot of snow. It was very cold, and the chickens were getting in the way when I was trying to clean the hoop coop, right? So that's the story, and obviously that's the story. I just want to take a few, make a few pictures, and when I'm explaining it, I want to explain it visually. So this is the problem. You see, this is the base image. This is supposed to be used to generate this image, but you see it's already off. Already changed the output, and I'm supposed to take the second image to generate the third image. So that one kind of stayed okay. And then after that it just went, and as you can see, yeah, it just got messed up. So that's the problem with automation. That's what I'm saying when people say, why don't you just use a video? I cannot use a video because when the video messes up, I won't know about it. So that's a problem. I need to stick to there. So let's I'll do another one. This time I'm gonna do what is this one here? Yeah, so I'll show you how I generated for the chicken story. I'll just paste it in here and let it run. So I'll show you. Let's go read the prompt together. So it says here, play. Okay, let's go all the way up here. Where are you? Oops. Okay, I think I'll just read the second one. It's easier to. Okay, it says here. So the prompt was playful, comma, exaggerated claymation, comma, 768 by 768, period, extreme close-up, ECU on the protagonist's eyes, wide with a green determination, sweat beading. Protagonist wears heavy winter gear, dimly lit coop interior. Heavy snow begins to swirl near the entrance. Okay, so that was the first image. Okay, so meaning that it can have leeway to do that. Now let's see. I think it's. If we look at the GPU, is it finished or not yet? Oh, it's done. Well, that time it took 26 seconds. So it took 26 seconds because I'm not using an initial image. So let's go, let's look for that one here. Is it at the bottom? Bunch of T's. What's it again? Z image underscore 000 TTT1 right here. This one? No. TT, how many T's? Oh, 001. Oh, this one here. This is the one here. So you see? This is the one that it just generated, 001 TT1. So this is the one it generated, okay? Now, I'm okay with that, okay? Now, the fact that it doesn't have any snow, I'm actually okay with this because what I can do is I can obviously use Inkscape to add snow moving here, so I'm perfectly fine with it. So now the problem is, if I try to use this image to generate a second image, it's not going to work. Okay, so what I said, hey, you know what? Since it looks like it understands, because you see it generated basically the same thing over again, I was like, okay, that's perfectly fine. Let's move that out of the way. What if I generate the second part of the scene? Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'm gonna just give it just to show you what's going on here. So let me clear this. So like before. Because I was thinking, okay, so let's see if it can reproduce the same thing again. I'm saying that with just a different take. So this one, the prompt is playful exaggerated climation 768 by 768 medium shot MS. The protagonist is halfway through the coupe door, shovel raised high, a massive cartoonish snowdrift white mound is just beginning its impact, slightly obscuring the side of their face. Coupe entrance, intense wind and snow. So this one also finished in about 26 seconds. So let's take a look. You see here, this is what happens, right? So this is what happens. Now, I don't know about you, but this one looks a little bit way more human than this one here. So what happened? So you can say, oh, I know, why don't you just use an initial image? That's the thing. So okay, so I'm going to use the initial image. So I'm going to, remember, we just generated this image, right? So I'm going to use this image to generate image number 3, just to show you, and I'll show you. So so let's clear this, and I'm going to put it here, paste and run. So this one says playful, exaggerated climation 768 by 768 period, medium shot MS. The protagonist is halfway through the coupe door, shovel raised high period. A massive, cartoonish snowdrift white mound is just beginning its impact, slightly obscuring the side of their face period. Coupe entrance, intense wind and snow period. Okay, so obviously it's going to take a little bit longer because it has to get that image. Now let's see what it will output. By the way, the width and height are both 768 by 768. The steps I put to 6 steps because I realized I don't need the 20 steps. But if you think I'm crazy, so it did say, you see it took 23 seconds, well, basically 24 seconds. So let's open up number 3 here. So you see here, it basically left this guy, but you see what happened? It's winter. It didn't use now you see it kept the structure and everything fine. The shovel is fine. I'm not gonna worry too much about the hands, but why is it changing the outfit? You see, that's the problem I don't like. Change the outfit, for example. Who's gonna go out in winter like that? Nobody's gonna do that. I'm already cold right now, and this thing already changed it. So that's one of the problems I have with and this was using the initial image. So you see, it did keep this face structure and all of that, but again, it's yeah. And now you might say, oh, you just use a non-quantized model or something. I did that. Remember, I showed you guys that stuff. Some of the stuff I did it in Comfy UI. I already have those models. I'm having the same problem with the turbo, and I've seen videos on YouTube and other sources, including Reddit. People have this model and they're doing some really amazing things. They keep the same outfit, they're using control nets. I said I tried all that. In fact, some of them put their workflows on like what do you call it, on Pastebin. I copied their workflow, downloaded the exact same model. I already had the models, but if anything was missing, I downloaded. Some of them even had the combined model, the checkpoint. I downloaded it, and I wasn't able to reproduce whatever they had. So I'm thinking, is it because maybe they have an NVIDIA and something is wrong? I don't know what's going on. So it just, my mind is blown. I don't know why I'm not able to do that. So as I said, I might use this model for things like this, like the initial image. But I think what I might do is I might just use it for the initial image, because I do like the way it came out. That's exactly the way I want. And maybe what I'll do is I'll then take that initial image, for example, like this one, and then do the rest in something like I use a different model until maybe when the Z image, the non-turbo one comes out, I might try it again when it has like negative prompts and all that stuff. So maybe I'll try it again. But it is unfortunate. So if you notice, how long did that take, by the way? Oh, that's weird. It also took 23 seconds. Why did it take so long the first time? I guess maybe it's cached. You remember the first time it took like what, almost 80 seconds? That was a little bit slow. But yeah. So that's basically all I want to show you. It's a very good model. I'm very impressed with it. The only thing I dislike, at least for my particular use case, is I can't get it to keep the outfits. I've tried so many different things. So yeah. So if you guys know, put that in the comments or let me know. Like literally, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't understand it. And yes, as I said before, I do have the non-quantized models as well. They obviously work fine on my GPU. I do not know. It's just ignoring. It's ignorant. I have so many prompts where I say keep the keep the outfit. I even described it. I said keep the headgear, keep this. I even tried in Comfy UI where I actually did a control net. It grabbed it properly. Funny thing is, it actually grabbed, for example, all this. It did it properly, but then it would keep on changing. You make this red, you make it blue, and whatever. I was like, come on. And then if I describe the color, I say, okay, keep the scarf blue, for example. It would then keep the scarf blue, but then it would change, like, for example, this part would be red. It just all over the place. I'm like, God, yes. So it's like, it's a little bit frustrating, but I said, it looks like I broke it. What do I have the fan on here? Sorry about that, I'm like yelling. Yeah, so anyway, so that's basically it for the tutorial. As you can see, it's a fantastic model. This is it's worth the hype for now. But I said, at least on my system, maybe it's not optimized enough. I don't know what's going on. It just doesn't. It's not keeping the outfit, and that's really frustrating. Because if I'm creating a scene, for example, if you look at me now, like when I started this video, see, I'm wearing a black whatever you call this, a little over an outfit. If I put my hand like this, or let me hold something up, see, I'm holding up a pen. You see my point? My outfit stays the same, right? So that's the scene. If the scene is simply holding up a pen, everything stays the same, right? And it does pretty good proportions. Everything is just, I wish it would just keep the outfit, just keep the outfit there. Now in ComfyUI, I came pretty close, fiddling around with some settings, and was able to replicate the same thing over and over and over again. So I might give it one more chance after this live stream, and if I can, and in tonight's live stream, I will show you what the results. I'll most likely do a night stream tonight. I will test. I'll show you. I'll show you some of my workflow. I'm gonna get rid of the videos because the videos, yeah, I've decided to get rid of the videos for now. Oh yeah. Oh, is that tonight's live stream all? Oh yeah. No, that's upcoming. Okay, so let's finish this up. I gotta minimize this. Okay, so let's finish this up. I've already talked about the results there. So if you want to learn Python, I have a book. It's called Learning Python. Python is fantastic for AI automation or general programming. It's a very beginner-friendly book. It's available on Amazon. The link is also in the description, or you can simply go to Amazon and search for Editor Jambo. But it's probably easier just if you want to get that book specifically, just use the links. The links are in the description. I also have a course called Learning Python. It's available on jamboshop.com. It's a structured online course, meaning that all you need is a web browser. It's a one-time payment. If you need coupons, let me know. I can generate some. I haven't generated coupons so far this year. It's covering Python fundamentals and practical examples. And last year, I created so many Python tutorials, and I was using the WebID. I think I used WebID pretty much for almost all of them except for one or two. So they're all there, and they're still relevant, of course. And I also offer services. You can contact me for Python programming, for example, one-on-one online tutoring sessions at ojambo.com/contact. And if you want any other more intense Python tutoring, or for example, if you want AI stuff like the Z image turbo installation and migration services, you can contact me at ojamboservices.com/contact. Okay, so I can help you. Obviously, you guys know I run Linux, so if you need help with server setup, stuff like that. In fact, I'm actually helping a customer now. Is the company is moving to AWS, so I'm helping them with that. So right now, as we talk, so yeah, so I'm available for those if you need. Again, the links are all in the description as well. Okay, so let's go to the conclusion, which is that running stable diffusion locally with using stable-diffusion.cpp and the AMD Instinct MI60 provides a powerful and flexible image generation environment. With the right hardware and configuration, beginners can explore advanced AI workflows directly on Linux. Obviously, you can do the same thing on Mac OS and Windows as well, especially on the command line. Okay, now with that said, I'd like to implore you that you should subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because what happens is the more people subscribe, the more the algorithm sends it out to more viewers, and those people can join this growing community. Share the tips and tricks, and I'll share everything with you. For example, for me myself, the first time I did AI a live stream, one of my viewers helped me, and that stuff, some of it was a little bit over my head, but now it's common, and I said like I'm not saying I'm better than he was. I'm just saying that I now know that instead of simply just copying the same things that work for NVIDIA, I need to tweak them to work on my ROCm. For example, when I was running ComfyUI yesterday, I saw, I should use this particular node. It only had 2 nodes. You know what the node was doing when using a Comfy Manager? It started downloading a whole bunch of NVIDIA stuff, the NVIDIA drivers and all this. I'm like, oh, I have a space for it. I'm saying that stuff's not going to be used. So basically what I should do is I should clone that repository, remove all those requirements for NVIDIA and run it, right? So I'm saying those are the type of things which I did learn that when you don't have an NVIDIA GPU, you have to just a few tweaks. But it's still worth it. Okay, now I also have other recommended resources. For example, as I told you before earlier, I live in a rural area, so there's no internet, there's no cellular service is sporadic. So I use SpaceX Starlink residential service. That gives me high-speed internet. That's why I'm able to live stream on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey right now. And also I use it for my for Wi-Fi calling, so that way I'll be able to send, receive voice calls, text messages. That also includes the multimedia version of that. So if you're thinking of getting the Starlink residential service, please use my referral link. I'll get 1 month free and you'll get a massive discount. Right now in Canada, you get the equipment for free. So if you're in another geographical location, you get a massive discount. I don't know what it is, but it definitely will be a significant discount. So do use my referral link. And then I also have an affiliate link, and it's for this. It's the Honeywell HeatBud personal ceramic heater. It's available on Amazon. So this guy saved me hundreds of dollars in heating. So the way, because I'm in a rural area here, this entire place is heated by propane. So the truck comes, fills up propane tanks, and that's how the heat comes down. It's very expensive and inefficient. So one thing I noticed is, one thing I've said this several times, I dislike central HVAC because it makes silly assumptions. The assumptions is that all the rooms need to be heated to the same temperature, which doesn't make any sense, because here's why. The same people will tell me that when I'm sleeping, let's say I sleep for 8 hours, the temperature should be lower. Okay, fine. When I'm up, I work from home. I'm going to spend the majority of my day in this room here and in this desk right here. So why am I heating the bedroom when I'm not actually there? Isn't that crazy? You're supposed to heat the bedroom when you are not actually in the bedroom? That makes no sense to me at all. Nor the other rooms and whatever. So my philosophy, and that's why I got the space heater, is that heating should only be where I am. Right? So for example, I'm here now. I don't even need to heat up this entire room. I just need to heat up this little space, my personal space where the desk is. So this guy, I got my bill for, I guess, November to, I guess, yesterday or so. And I paid, it was $92 for electricity. So normally it's about $88. So I paid $4. So I'd rather pay the extra $4 because I'm using, and it's been very, very cold, as you guys know, from November to now. So I'd rather use this and pay the extra $4 a month in electrical costs than paying hundreds of dollars in propane. So here's the thing. My propane was $137. That includes the tax and whatever, the bogus carbon tax. $137. That is a massive savings. You know how much I paid last year for the same time? $240. And that November-ish and early December was kind of okay, not like this year where it was winter type weather. So, and the first year I was here, because I'd come from the cold, I was a little bit clueless. Every time I felt a little bit cold, I would bump up the temperature, and man, I was paying $350 a month. So I learned my lesson, and I got this little Honeywell HeatBud last year in February. I started using it, so I could put the temperature down to 16 degrees, 16.5 for the house, and use this in my personal space. And this year, what I've done is I've lowered the temperature 15 degrees permanently, and I use this here, and I'm perfectly fine. It's even today, because today is the warmest day since like October 15th. Today outside, right now it's about 5 degrees, so that's why I'm able to do laundry and wear like short sleeve for the first time. And obviously, if I'm gonna feel a little bit chilly, I can switch it on. Obviously, laundry is done. You guys heard that at the beginning of this session. Anyway, so you can pick up this in affiliate link. There's no extra cost to me. To you, I get a commission on every sale. Then I also have the Algorithmic Serpent. This was my first novelette. You can see there, it's created by me, ROCm, but available on Amazon. It's about a creator who creates an AI system and loses his mind, so he has to regain control of his mind. And the AI system, this is the back, those are the pages. It's very affordable. The majority of the cost, like I'm talking like over 95% of the cost is for example, on the paperback version is for shipping and printing, and for the ebook it's for storage costs. So pick it up if you have the means and let me know what you think. And then I also have this one. This is my latest published item. It's called the Recession Business Blueprint. It's a book, it's a guide to help you start a business during a recession. Right now we're in a recession, so if you're thinking of getting a business, you need that little push, or you need help, you can ask me as well. I'm more than happy to help out during any of these live streams. But the guide here will help you. For example, if you need to write business budget, you might not know what you need. Like you need to do a little bit of accounting, some bookkeeping. It's all there in the business research and business blueprint. It's available right now in paperback and ebook version. By the way, for all my books, the ebook versions, you can get them for free on Amazon if you have Kindle Unlimited. And Amazon sent me something saying that I believe starting very early next year, I think it's January 6th, you'll be able to I'll tell you, though, officially it says starting January 20, so starting January 2026, they're going to have other options. Right now I think it's only for Kindle. They're going to have other options like I believe PDF and EPUB. So you'll be able to get that on Amazon. So if one of the reasons you haven't gotten any of my stuff is because you don't have a Kindle, you won't need one starting January 20 of next year. So now you'll be able to use whatever your favorite device is. Okay, and then if you want to know about me or to contact me, so I have a blog. Every article I write the vast majority of articles on ojambo.com. Sometimes I do have some guest authors, but I write majority of them. So I have I'm a programmer, software engineer, web designer, author. So you can follow my books, my page on Amazon. If you need support, ojamboservices.com for all consultations. Remember I told you whether it's AI, tutoring, or you want to start a business, you can contact me there, ojamboservices.com. And if you're ready to learn, I have ojamboshop.com. This is why you're watching this video, Ojambo Shop. That's what it's about. The courses, the link is right there as well. We have PHP, Python, and JavaScript so far. If you want to contact me, if you want to write a comment, please make sure it's based on, for example, today we're talking about this model, or make sure it's something AI related. Yes, absolutely, for the comment. And then the best way to contact me is the contact forms, ojambo.com/contact, ojamboservices.com/contact, and ojamboshop.com/contact. And if you want to follow me, the channels Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. Okay, now I'm going to put on the outro, and I'm just going to scroll up a little bit to right there, and I'm going to check now before I do that. So also, if you want to know what's upcoming, you go to ojambo.com, you go to Watch Many Live Summit. You can see this is the tutorial I've just done today. There's going to be a night stream. I don't know what it's going to be about. I'm hoping I have some time to test out some other models to hopefully see they don't have the same problem I'm having with this turbo model. And if they do, that would be the live stream will be about. However, if it's not, I'll just show you guys my workflow in Comfy UI. And then tomorrow, this is what we're doing. It's a self-hosted item. And then we have this one about NetBeans. Be sure, don't miss this one. This one is going to be, this one will actually shock you. This NetBeans one is going to shock you. And then this is a review of the Zettler. Okay, and then so that's it. I'm going to now check all the live streams to see if there's any chat requests. I'm going to start with Odyssey. There's nothing there. In BitChute, we have Aldo Nova talking about Bitcoin. I don't know why it's all about Bitcoins all the time. Okay, thank you for that, Aldo Nova. And Rumble, there's nothing, and YouTube, there's nothing. I'm not sure why I'm not getting any YouTube chat requests. That's kind of weird. I'm hoping you guys are not having a problem. For a while, for like several days there, I had a problem with I wasn't able to actually even start the live streams. So I'm hoping the stuff that I was going through, you guys are not going through that, and that's what is preventing you from live chat. Anyways, you can always leave a comment if you're logged in, and said you can comment other ways as well, so we'll see that. Okay, with that said, I'll leave you guys, and I'll see you tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern and tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Bye now.